Good morning, Bitcoins. Today is today is Thursday, September 20th, 2018. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is up 0.24% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 6,409, a high of 6,519, and a low of 6,143. That's $1 for 15,609 Satoshis. Checking out the top 10 altcoins sorted by volume weighted against the price of Bitcoin. Not sure if that's right. There we go. Ethereum down 0.6. Bitcoin Cash down almost a point. EOS down a quarter. Ripple even. Ethereum Classic down 0.5%. Litecoin down 1%. Dash down a quarter. Qtum down up 3/4, and Tron up about 2% to finish out the top 10 altcoins. Checking out the most active distributed applications, IDEX falls below 2,000 users again, with the high-risk 333ETH rising to almost 1,000 per day. Everything else is below 1,000 per day, with Fork Delta 703, Ethereum 415, and the ever-popular CryptoKitties with 413. Checking out the most active blockchains, BitShares continues to take the lead with Steem and the once popular EOS falling behind. Bitcoin moves above Ethereum in activity and, of course, is 86% full, not a problem. Ethereum falls to fifth place with still 64,000 unconfirmed transactions, and you can't even see Bitch on this list because they've fallen to 12th place. Bitcoin Core update fixes vulnerability, but not typo, that could reportedly crash network for $80,000. That's right, an error in Bitcoin could have crashed the network if a miner was willing to burn a block of at least 12.5 Bitcoin. The new update includes a feature that eliminates a potential crash by enabling the software to quietly reject invalid blocks created by miners. As Bitcoin Core said directly, security issue CVE-2018-17144 was discovered that older versions of Bitcoin Core will crash if they try to process a block containing a transaction that attempts to spend the same input twice. Such blocks are invalid, so they can only be created by a miner willing to sacrifice their allowed income for creating a block of at least 12.5 Bitcoin, around $80,000 as of this writing. This release eliminates the crash, allowing the software to quietly reject such invalid blocks. Bitcoin just flash crashed before powering higher. Here's why. And they don't know why, so we're not going to bother. But look at this flash crash. I was just talking yesterday about why you can't set limit orders on Bitcoin or any brand new emerging market. The problem is because a large whale or an error or whatever this was could come in suddenly, sell the price down to 6,100, taking care of all of your market orders on the way down. Sell, sell, sell. The problem is you don't have corresponding buy market orders to catch it on the way back up. So your sells will execute. You'll be left holding no Bitcoin. Then a few minutes later, when the price of Bitcoin rebounds to 6,510, you'll be out of the market. It's very dangerous to set limit orders in a market that's so thin that can move as much as $400, even at this point. Very dangerous. Bitcoin use by Islamic State could be over by October, and it's the same headline. This is the Here's Why guy. That's what he's good at. Here's why. Let's see what's wrong with Bitcoin and Islam today. According to the president of the Financial Action Task Force, the group will agree of money laundering standards, the Islamic State, so on and so forth. So it does sound like this is more of a anti-terrorism problem than a religious problem. As we reported earlier, the Bitcoin market is allegedly open to the 1.6 billion Muslims, as cryptocurrency was declared halal under Islamic law. So still acceptable by Islamic law, but I believe that this is more about terrorism than it is about Islam. Crypto pioneer David Chaum says he's built a better Bitcoin. A new platform called Elixir, with too many X's, promises to improve on Bitcoin speed by processing thousands of transactions a second. Although, much like anything that attempts to improve on Bitcoin, it comes with a normal amount of caveats. Mr. Chaum's system appears to compromise a bit. By limiting the number of producers at any time, making it, in theory, well, obviously, less decentralized than the Bitcoin network, meaning that the new system of Elix XR Chaumian Cash 2.0 is not as decentralized as Bitcoin, meaning that it's not as censorship resistant and it's not as good money. If you're willing to trade the ability to process transactions fast in exchange for the process of not having censorship resistance, good luck with that one. And in the very strange news category, Cody Wilson, gun entrepreneur accused of sex with minor, left the United States for Taiwan, officials say. Cody Wilson, owner of a company that makes untraceable 3D printed gun, is wanted on arrest, accused of sex with an underage girl in the United States. A friend of 16-year-old alleged victim told him he was under investigation before he left, so he did know. Allegedly, he met the girl in an Austin hotel and paid her $500. A very interesting story, kind of mirrors the Julian Assange problem, where he was wanted for supposedly forced sex in Sweden, something like that. Whether this is true or not, or whether this is an attempt to destroy his character, don't. I do believe to be at the HCPP conference in Prague. My goal was, of course, to interview him and kind of in a nice way, if I can, ask him why the world would be made better by the creation of 3D printed guns. Certainly, I don't think it's an impossibility, but if I was to dedicate myself to such a task, I would wonder why. In the same kind of news, a cryptocurrency pioneer, entrepreneur Gavin Wood, one of the co-founders of Ethereum, wrote about sex with a preteen girl on his blog. He says it was fiction. They even kind of hide the news in the headline. According to the post, it was a post about having sex with a 12 or 13-year-old girl who was dying of AIDS. Sounds awful in pretty much every way. He says that his blog posts at the time were meant to provoke intellectual debate and discussion around generally taboo subjects like the nature of consent. Nothing should be taken as indicative of his personal position. A very strange story. Interesting to see it come out on almost the same day as the Cody Wilson alleged sex with a minor story. We've had a few shows on the World Crypto Network since I've been around. I've been 2 days ago, we had the indomitable Bitcoin talk show, that which cannot be stopped. We also had a great show by Max Hillebrand, Agorism or Political Change, with Adam Kokesh from the Liberty Movement. Andy Hoffman did another interview with Ansel Linder. Check it out. And there's another show about ZK, snacks, and wasabi, following our goals of open source and everything. But let's check out the indomitable Bitcoin talk show for what is everyone's favorite part of the show, yesterday's comments. Yesterday's comments. And go ahead. Latvia is in the EU and they use the euro. Hungary is in the EU, but they don't use the euro. They also say that I'm welcome to check out Romania. BL Dewyan said he was missing the Bitcoin talk show. It's good to know that Mad Bitcoins will be the foreign correspondent while away from Las Vegas, and that the show will continue. Keep up the good work, Mad Bitcoins. I appreciate your work. Brett is asking for a link to the Euro Tallycoin donation. I will show that later in the show. And B Light says, thanks for being the strong crypto enthusiast position. We need more people like you. What do you think about a fully anonymous network like Tor and crypto through them? As example, Deep Onion. I don't know much about the Deep Onion. I think it's related to Tor. But I do think that in general, we are moving towards more anonymous networks like Tor and crypto. I often tell people that the internet was built in the wrong way. We built the internet in a hurry. We built the internet for commercial means like advertisers, things like Facebook and these other websites, Instagram, Twitter, etc., were all made with the goal of delivering as much information as possible to the advertisers. This is the exact opposite of the way that the cypherpunks would have preferred to build the internet. When we were building email and so forth, it was built unencrypted because that was the fastest and quickest way to build it. Later on, everyone assumed the encryption and the security would be added back in. However, for Facebook, if your goal is to deliver all of the information to the advertisers, encrypting it and denying your own access to it is not going to happen. We do continue to hope for a new internet where all of your data will be encrypted, and even Facebook could not sell your information to the advertisers. This would, of course, invalidate the business model of Facebook and several other major companies on the internet, such as the so-called do no evil crew of Google, who seems to be doing quite a lot of evil lately. Checking out the Mad Tour. It was great to meet some Bitcoin people last night in the UK. I was mostly asleep, but I was there, and we went to the oldest inn in England. It's called A Ye Olde Trip to Jerusalem. It was pretty incredible inside. There's an old phone booth right there. Here's a picture of the inside. It was kind of built into the rock. As you can see, the ceiling there is rock, not ceiling. Lots of cuddy holes, and you can see there at the top, Locksley Manor, I think that is, or Nottingham Castle. I'm not sure. Mainly I know Robin Hood from the movies. But we had a great time in the UK. That's it for that one. There's some more pictures in this one. There you can see 1189 AD. As a person from the United States, the oldest stuff we have is pretty much 1700s for the Revolution, 1600s for the Pilgrims, and not much before that. A little bit of Columbus, and of course the Native Americans who were here before us. This bar has been in operation since 1189 AD. Pretty incredible, the old trip to Jerusalem. Claiming to be the oldest inn in England, definitely in the top 5. I also visited the world's first factory at Cromford Mills, where they used water power to create cotton through machines that were not required of skilled labor. This allowed the creation of the system of wage slavery, where workers became interchangeable parts and factory owners became very, very rich. I was briefly put in the stocks. Quite a welcome to the UK. Funny stuff. And where in the world is the Mad Tour to? Right now I'm in Derby in the UK. Very cool stuff, having a good time. We're going to go see the Rolls-Royce factory today. So check out the Mad Bitcoins Twitter account to see lots of photos of what's going on. I will be having meetups everywhere I go. Just basic things. We met at the bar last night. We talked about Bitcoin. It's always good to meet new Bitcoiners, even if they have funny accents. If you like the Mad Tour and you like the photos and the videos that I'm doing, please donate right now to the QR code on your screen. We put up a little Tallycoin fundraiser with the goal of raising about $1,000. I can tell you so far, the flight over was around $500. So we've raised around $337 towards our goal of $1,000 and the goal of basically covering flights and some small expenses for the Mad Tour. I do love to travel, but it does cost money all over. Thankfully, I have been able to stay with friends in the UK. It's great to stay with friends all over the world. If you'd like me to stay on your couch, you can write to the Mad Tour on Twitter at MadBitcoins. We'll see if I'm in your neck of the wood. But that's about it for this strangely timed episode of Today in Bitcoin. Just want to say hello from the UK. Tried to show you the buildings outside. Kind of looks like brick. Unfortunately, the camera is mainly blowing out the buildings. But that's about it for this episode of Today in Bitcoin. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. That helps more people find the show. Leave a comment afterwards, even if you weren't here for the live chat. It's always great to have comments. And until next time, bye-bye.